He would never hurt her. She's his mother after all. But since she was diagnosed, she can't remember. She didn't remember he's her only son. She didn't remember how much he cared for her since she was diagnosed. She didn't remember that tonight is her son's wife's birthday. She didn't remember that he told her he'll come visit after the party. She didn't remember he had a spare key. Her body froze when she heard a knocking at her door. She took a knife to defend herself from this intrusion and ran into her room once she heard the key slide into the lock. She hid as the door opened. "Mom? Where are you?" His voice sounded concerned. The lights in the house were out. She didn't remember to pay the bills. Who is this man? She thought to herself, hiding in her bedroom closet with a steak knife. Why is he here? Why does he want to hurt me? Her voice in her head panicked and her breath became short. She didn't remember that he'll come visit at the party. Her son's footsteps grew closer and closer as he went up the stairs. She didn't remember how much he loves her. He entered his mother's room, scanning it in search for her. Where is she? He thought to himself inside. Her heart beat faster now. She didn't remember his face that she kissed so many times. His eyes finally landed on her. He could see his mom cowering through the closet shutters. Her heart skipped a beat as if it tried to muffle its own sound. What are you doing there? He approached the closet door, chuckling at the absurdity of this situation. As soon as he opened the door, like a cornered animal, instinct, she stabbed him in the shin. He screamed and fell to the ground. She didn't remember how her son's pain sounded like. "Stop, what are you doing?" he screamed. But she didn't remember his voice. Her knife plunged into his neck. Blood sprayed all over her as she twisted the knife. His pleas drowned into bloody gurgles as he fell to the ground. Painting the once white carpet, she didn't remember her son's blood. In her head, her son drowned into a blurry mess. She didn't remember where she hid the body. She swore to the cops she didn't remember where she hid it. She grieved over her son, but after a while she didn't remember the cops. She didn't remember the body. And she didn't remember that night. She didn't remember that she even had a son. It's 7:31 p.m., and I'm the last person in the office. But instead of leaving, I'm standing in front of the elevator with a box of paper clips in my hand. "Ready to go?" asks Ray. He's keeping the elevator door open for me. Behind him are Megan, Clara, and Marcos, all of whom look tired from working so late. The first time this happened, I opened my mouth to say yes. Then I suddenly changed my answer as I remembered my resolution to lose a few pounds. Back then, I said, "Thanks, but I'll take the stairs." This time I don't say anything. "Suit yourself," Ray says anyway, as if I had spoken. He releases the door, but before I can close, I toss in the box. It lands on its corner and the lid pops off, scattering its contents like a paperclip grenade. Then the door slides shut and I'm alone again. No one in the elevator thought this was weird. In fact, they didn't even notice. I've done this little experiment many, many times, so I'm not surprised they didn't react. I'm also not surprised to look over and see the box of paperclips back on my desk as if I'd never touched it. My other experiments end the same way. I've blocked the doors, I've shouted and begged, and I've grabbed at Ray's arm, but nothing makes any lasting difference. My coworkers never respond, and everything resets. I always end up alone in the office, at least until the elevator reappears and Ray asks if I'm ready to go. I've gotten tired of experimenting, but there isn't much else to do around here. The phones and radios and fire alarms don't work. All the computers are frozen. I found a cheap romance novel hidden in Megan's bottom drawer, but I know how it ends. I have to. I've read it 30 times already. Even if I actually do take the stairwell, it's like walking into MC Esther print. However many flights I descend or ascend, every door brings me right back here to the 40th floor. Of course, I could always join my coworkers in the elevator. I remember once when I was a kid, I was feeling morbidly curious, so I looked up elevator accidents and found out they were incredibly rare. Elevators are probably the safest method of transportation in the world, since they basically cannot just go crashing into the ground. You're about 1,000 times more likely to die on a staircase. But even though I know that, I also know this. Each time the elevator leaves, if I put my ear to the door, I can hear the resounding screams of my coworkers echoing back up the shaft. And that's why it's always 7:31 p.m. Because I'm supposed to be with them. Looking up from the paperclip box, I see the elevator has returned. Ready to go? Asks Ray. And eventually, I know I'll say yes.